Welcome back, and today we're covering the 7 signs you do need an LLC. So if you didn't watch my video all about the 7 signs why you don't need an LLC, you'll want to bookmark that and watch that right after this video to weigh the pros and cons of each decision for you. All right, so when do you know if you're ready for an LLC or not? This is a really exciting step in any new business or any new business venture after another one. The first sign that you're ready for an LLC is that you are regularly selling something, whether it's a service or a product or an online course or a little trinket or a piece of jewelry, whatever it is. If you are exchanging money for something that took you time to create or will take you time to create if it's a service, then that's a really good time to set aside a portion of the money that you're receiving and use it to file for an LLC. Because as you may have seen in my other videos, an LLC or a limited liability company, if you're here in the United States, that can actually help you not just to get your business bank accounts, which we definitely need, but it will also help to legitimize you in the eyes of your clients and customers when they can see that you're an actual company that's representing the brand or the products that you're selling and not just some random person on the internet with an @gmail.com email address. I know, most of you are there. It's totally fine. It takes 10 seconds to set up your @customname.com email address, but we won't go into that here. I'm not gonna shame you too much. A little bit, but not too much. All right, so the second reason is kind of related, and if you are having clients who rely on you, they are trusting you with their money, then it's a good idea to have somewhere that is a good safe keeper of that money. You want to be a good steward to your clients and not just provide the services on time and in the way that you said you would, but also in a professional manner. If you are a professional company, now, don't get me wrong, you can still be professional and show up with face tattoos or rainbow hair or whatever else it is. At the end of the day, your clients just want to make sure that they get the intended result that they were looking for. And if you're able to provide that in a timely, effective manner, that's professional. So make sure that you are legitimizing that entire experience for them with your LLC backing it all. Number 3, now this is for my in-person service-based businesses. If you are going to a location, or even more important, if you're inviting people to a location like a venue or a studio, it is really critical for some of you to have an LLC because you are actually inviting someone onto your premises. And if you ever heard of something called a slip and fall case, basically like if someone hurts themselves on your property, or if you've ever heard of someone that just tries to go for those deeper pockets and sue them because they were invited somewhere or they were asked to do something during a photo shoot, that's what we're trying to protect against here and limit your liability with a limited liability company. Number 4, now this is where the tax savings come in. And I should have started with this earlier in the video, but I get a lot of people confused because their CPA says, no, you don't need an LLC yet. But from a legal standpoint, you need an LLC for different reasons than your accountant would tell you to get an LLC for. Most accountants, rightfully so, only care about seeing you as profitable as possible. And so if you are not at a level that they deem super profitable, they might not care if you have an LLC yet. Now compare that to a lawyer who's like, yeah, don't get sued, get an LLC. So that's my preference. This isn't legal advice. You can do whatever you want. I don't know your specific situation, but I do know that if you are making $30,000, $40,000-ish a year in profit, so not revenue, which is just gross money in, but actual profit, like after you pay your expenses, your contractors, any kind of ad fees, any kind of cost of goods, all that kind of stuff, and you still have $30,000 or $40,000 left over, that's a pretty good reason to get an LLC and then go talk to that CPA and ask, do I need to file as an S corporation? We don't need to get into all the details between how you file as a regular LLC versus an LLC that files as an S corporation, but just know that if you are making that much in profit, there is potentially a tax liability savings that you could be cashing in on and getting a little bit more money back in your bank account just for filing taxes a different way using your LLC. But you can't do that if you don't have an LLC. Now, the reason why most of you should get an LLC is because you want to have those business checking accounts and business credit cards and all the different things that come with the business, financially speaking. If you don't have an LLC, just like your clients might not take you seriously, the banks definitely won't. And they want to see that certificate of good standing. It might have a slightly different name in your state. But if you do that and you get your certificate of good standing because you filed for your LLC, you can walk into the bank with that and your tax ID letter, which has your employee identification number, your EIN, that's like your social security number for your business. You can walk into the bank with those two things and open a bank account. And that's how you can get your new PayPal for your business credit cards, all that good stuff. Start earning those miles and get to it. All right, so number 6, if you want to start hiring some things out, like hiring some contractors or even some employees, part-time or full-time, then it's a good idea to make sure you have an LLC set up first so that you don't have to incur the liability personally yourself if something goes wrong. That is, if there's like an employee and things go sideways, or a contractor and they just aren't working out, but like they're being kind of angry about it, we want to make sure that they can only go after the assets of the business, which is contained within that pretty little LLC house you just built, not your own personal house. And so an LLC can help to protect your personal assets in that way. I cover that in lots of other videos here, so make sure you binge watch this channel if you have the time. And that is going to protect you. So that's another situation where you'd want an LLC. Okay, I've saved the best for last. So this is the most important one. So number 7, if you are starting a business with another person, that is called a partnership. If you're starting it with 7 other people, that's still called a partnership. If you're starting it with 25 million other people, it's still called a well, I don't know that you're allowed to in 25 million, but like, you get what I mean. If it's 1 person, 2 people, 7 people, 10 people, that's still called a partnership by default. And we want to protect that, because what happens in a partnership that doesn't have an LLC? Well, if one of those partners is just, you know, maybe a little bit out there and they want to go drinking one night and they accidentally get in an accident in the company car on the way home, all the partners are equally and severably liable. So that's a very fancy legal term, equally and severably. But all it means is that you are all equally liable as if you had done it yourself, and severably liable. So like if they can't pin it on the guy who actually did it, they can pin it on you, just like it was your fault, even though you were, you know, on vacation in Mexico and this dude is like being a jerk and hit someone with the car. So that is why it's really important to have an LLC, because then the LLC is liable, not you personally, and just that member of the LLC will be more responsible in that type of situation that is unforeseen, happens in the blink of an eye, and unfortunately does happen in many different ways. Maybe it's not a DUI or something like that. Maybe it's someone stubs their toe in your photography studio. I don't know. But either way, we want to make sure that the business is being held liable so that your personal assets like your house, your kids' college fund, those are not at stake. If you have enjoyed this and you're already subscribed, then the next step will be to get our Lawless to Flawless program. This is only $14 for a limited time, so make sure you jump into that. Get this at the lowest price we've ever offered it. It used to be sold for almost $200. We had hundreds of purchases at that price, but I just want to do a little something special for our YouTube audience, and so if that is something you're interested in, just go to lawlesstoflawless.com. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do and say in support of this channel and the contract shop. It means so much to myself and the team that's behind all this content. It actually costs us a lot of money to make these, but we do them completely for free. There's no ads, nothing, at least not that I'm putting on the channel. I'm not getting paid for this. So if you would just give this video a big thumbs up, and that would mean so much to us. I will see you next time in our next video. Make sure you leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you what your business is all about, so I'll see you there.